Alrighty, folks. I am MayesBoy 91 here with Medekai and Callsign Suitcase, and this is the Maximum Mouthage Podcast. So, you just try not to laugh.
Give me a second.
I farted before we started recording, and he recorded it.
Yes. And I am amplifying that fart. Because that is the stuff that we do here at Maximum Mouthage.
Just a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yes.
Worth it, though.
So,
Totally worth it.
tonight, I think we have a interesting subject. Bosses. Video game bosses. Some that are memorable. Some that are extremely difficult.
Dark Souls and Elden Ring's a given.
I thought you were going to be talking about like actual bosses, like work, and I was just going to be like, damn, those fuckers.
Yes.
I mean,
Make
video
sure
game
you
bosses too.
suplex.
One day we will do a school podcast.
School podcast? No.
That would be fun.
That would be hilarious.
Just kindergarten, preschool if you want, all the way up.
So, anyways.
Back on topic.
I got a list here. Do one of you guys want to start, or do you want me to start? Or, of course.
You're the show runner, buddy.
All right.
I was going to say, you're running the show.
Your first chair, buddy.
You're right, but, just want to give everybody an equal opportunity.
You get the first turn.
We'll
it came free with your fucking podcast.
So, I've already mentioned this game here a while back, Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
So, for years, I could not beat the game entirely because of Big the Cat.
Was he technically a boss?
No. Big the Cat is a whole separate story you have to do.
Froggy.
Yes, and for those of you who have not played that, it is the most boring, obnoxious fishing game you have ever played. It's stupid, and I hate it. So once I got older and finally figured out how to beat it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have the power to beat this game now. And I went through and beat Big the Cat story, and then, so the final boss is Ultimate Chaos, or whatever the name he is.
Yeah.
And he's this giant water monster that destroys the whole city, and basically the whole city is underwater. And you turn into Super Sonic. Somehow, like, all the Chaos Emeralds have no power. And he turns into Super Sonic. He has these red eyes. Just all of a sudden, Open Your Heart guitar riff starts going in. And then you start the boss fight, and it's like, dude, my 10-year-old self is going crazy right now.
The power of friendship.
Yeah. No, it's a tedious boss fight, but it's still kind of fun. You basically have to, it's just this long hallway, and Chaos is at the end of it. You have to get enough speed to go through him and out of his mouth to damage him. Problem is, as you're trying to run towards him, he's throwing these things at you to slow you down, and there's stuff in the way, like barricades and stuff. On top of that, you only have 50 rings. So once your 50 rings deplete, you die.
Yeah.
So you constantly have to dodge those things and get rings so you can stay alive. So you do that like 3 or 4 times to beat him, and then the game is over. It's just one of those boss fights that, like I said, my 10-year-old self would be like pumped up and screaming, like be standing up and be like, "Oh, this is it! Fucking Chaos is dead." That's how I felt.
To be fair, that's how most final bosses for Sonic are. It's just, I'm going Super Sonic, and then you have like a minute. You got to get rings and shit, or else you're dead.
You right.
Pretty much.
So that was my first one.
I will throw this argument out before I even start my list.
Oh boy.
If your final boss is hot garbage, your game doesn't count. You can't have like a mid boss be harder than your final boss to an extent.
Crap.
Dark Souls is one thing. Elden Ring is one thing. A lot of their final bosses are somewhat pushovers.
I don't know. It depends.
Not all of them.
It depends too on like if those like middle bosses you're talking about are supposed to be like side content rather than main story.
Yeah.
Because I've seen side quest bosses in RPGs be significantly tougher than the final boss.
But there's the other argument. You're supposed to be your final boss.
Yeah.
Your end game. Why is your end game a pushover?
I mean,
mind you, I'm not saying that this whole list is final bosses.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be. But it's kind of a given because if your final boss is not memorable, I don't care.
One of the ones I was going to mention, it's not the final boss. It's actually the second to last final boss.
Mm-hmm.
In both Crash 2 and Crash 3. And Jin, the guy with the rocket in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Both those fights in Crash 2 and 3 are the second to last boss, and they're harder than the final boss.
I mean, that's the argument. Like, if they're close to the area, cool. You'll remember them before you remember your final boss. I feel like If nobody remembers your final boss, did you really do your game right?
Look, I love the Crash games, but the final bosses are trash.
Yeah.
But
I'll give you
anyways.
one good example, if I can find it. I got one. Kingdom Hearts 3. Final boss fight was cool because of the setting of where it was at.
Yeah.
You're in the Keyblade graveyard with all the other fallen Keyblade warriors. You're fighting the entire 13 with your Keyblade holders of your side. That was cool. Boss fight wasn't that great, but the setting was great. The fight I enjoyed the most, fighting the Titans in Hercules.
Yeah, that was actually pretty fun.
Because you fight the tornado, the lava, and the ice one at the same time. You're using the wind from the tornado one to get up in the air and smacking debris towards the other two. And then you finally get to fight the cyclone. Same thing. But it was fun. Because you're fighting his air, his dynamics, while also dodging their nonsense, while also throwing stuff at him. It's like you're actually, well, you were legitimately fighting the Titans.
Nice.
The other fights, they're all right. But the one I enjoyed first, took me a while to get there because they made that area enormous and I enjoyed it, was fighting the Titans at the end.
Yeah, fair enough.
Nice. Suitcase?
Mainly because I've been playing it again lately, but Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door, the Shadow Queen is just not necessarily a difficult like final boss, like he was saying. The setting of the final boss for Thousand Year Door is crazy because it's just like they're basically reviving like a dead god, like Shadow Queen or something. I can't remember what they specify, like what she is power wise, and she like takes over Peach and then like tries to kill Mario. And it's like the setting of it's great because like the fight starts and it's just like you're fighting a tainted Peach, but then it's like, oh, what?
Nothing.
I get why it's
no.
funny.
Feel free. We're on open airspace. Go ahead, say it.
Say it, pussy.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Tainted Peach.
But then like you damage her enough and she goes, yeah, no, fuck you. I'm going to show you my true form. And she just shows up as like this deity and just she's invincible. And then she literally like takes the entire crowd and kills your entire audience, fully heals herself, and then just basically goes, you can't damage me. And then everybody goes, the power of friendship in the crystal stars. And then you can smack a booty hole wide open. She also does like 20 damage, which is a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, she has
That's
a move
fun.
where she basically goes, hey, I power up, plus 13. And then she just sends a shockwave at you. I mean, you can super guard it, or you can just go, hey, Vivian, take me into the shadows. And Vivian goes, yes, Dad, and hugs you and just, doop. Yeah.
Well then.
It's a very good boss. The super bosses that came out with the remake, though. So, have either of you played the original Paper Mario?
I started playing through it.
Nope, I tested it.
You know the Wacka? The little blue thing, if you smack it, it drops a bump, and you can like eat the bump to get health and flower points.
I don't think
It's
so.
in Chapter 2.
All right.
In the remake, in the Pit of 100 Trials, there's a Wacka, just kind of chilling in the middle of the room. And it's like, oh wow, I haven't seen anybody down in this Pit of 100. I haven't seen anybody down in here in a long time. If you whack it, it drops a bump, and it goes, oh, you want to play? Let's play. And this music starts and it sounds like chorus and epic, and then it goes all silly, and you just fight this Wacka and you think, oh, this isn't going to be difficult, until you tattle it, which lets you see shut the fuck up, lets you see its stats. And Goombella's like reading out the stats, and it goes, max HP is 96, attack power is 15, defense is like, it has a high defense or something too. The thing can do 27 damage.
Oh.
And
nice.
the more you hit it, the more bumps it drops. It uses those bumps to attack you, and it can hit you up to 5 times in a turn. Normal bumps hit you for like 13 to 15 damage. If you drop a red bump, it hits you for 27.
Oh, shit.
And if it decides to take all of those bumps and hit you, you better super guard.
You did.
It can also eat normal bumps and heal 25 HP.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's kind of broken.
yeah. I should play the
Sounds
boss
fun.
fight for you. I should play the music for you when we're off podcast.
Go on internet copyright.
Huh? Yeah, no, I don't want to
Go
be
on
nailed.
internet copyright.
Especially Nintendo, they would put a cork up our butts.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey,
Play-Doh Fun Factory.
No.
My next one, it's not a final boss, but it is a boss in a game, another game I've mentioned already, the first Rayman. Had to give it some space to do that. But it was from the first Rayman. So the first Rayman, it's really fun up to a certain point. Once you start getting into the art world,
I know where you're going with this.
you know what boss I'm talking about? The
Yeah.
freaking Viking washing machine lady.
Yep.
I wanted to kill myself. So you have not played that game, right?
Wait a minute. This
Malachi?
ain't the podcast where we get dark. But no, I have not.
Counting cards?
So obviously you know about it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So Menakai, let me explain it to you.
I'm
Basically, the boss fight starts out. You're standing there in the middle, just in the middle of the battlefield, and a washing machine comes from the left. If you're not paying attention, hits you.
nice.
So you're down HP. And there is a little tiny, itsy bitsy little spot on the very top of it that you have to punch
Yep.
to
Ooh.
get her out from behind the washing machine. And that is the only spot you can hit it. And this
That's
whole time she's shooting lasers at you that are short, long, short, long, short, long, long, short, short, long. You have to jump over, and if you don't, you're going to get hit. And there's also spots in that boss fight where there's these pots that all line up on top of you, and the only space that you have is your crawling. Your crawling isn't that fast.
No, your
And
crawling
there's
is awful.
And there are some spots where the opening that you have so you can stand up is all the way on the opposite side of the battlefield. So you have to crawl your way over there before they hit you.
Nice.
And here's the problem. Once you get to that point in the game, you're going to lose all of your continues because of that boss fight because you're not used to it. You're trying to learn all the patterns.
Yeah.
Once you lose all of your continues, like you use a continue, you only start with like what, 4 or 5 hit points? I think it's like 4 hit points, isn't it?
I can't remember.
You can start off with like a very small amount. So you have 4 chances to beat this boss that has multiple phases in it. And it is the most obnoxious boss fight. I could probably attempt to do it if I was older, but I was playing this back in the day on the Game Boy Advance.
Yep.
And I actually just used an action replay to beat it because I just got tired of it and want to throw my Game Boy out the window.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't blame you.
Freaking obnoxious.
The one that always got me from that Rayman wasn't exactly a boss. I would consider it more of like a challenge encounter. Was the Dark Rayman
Yep.
at the end? That was
That's a bitch. You want to explain that to Menakai?
so
I'm
basically.
all for it.
So basically, it's not a boss fight per se, but what it does is you've probably seen this in a few other games. So you start the stage out, and it first just seems like a simple platformer, but then you trigger in the game in Rayman, at least the Game Boy Advance one of the PlayStation, the first game. There were like little shining, twinkling star bits, and they were like they were hard to notice. Like they were just like little.
They were easier to notice in the Game Boy Advance version than the PlayStation.
Yes. But basically what happened is if you walked anywhere near it, you would trigger an event. Whether that would be you would trigger a star and it would make platforms, or it would spawn enemies, or do various things. This one was an unavoidable one that when you triggered it would start a Dark Rayman that would chase behind you. Basically copy every single action you do. If you helicopter spin to hover, he helicopter spins after you. If you wall jump or if you do certain jumps in certain ways, he follows you completely. If he touches you, death.
Nice.
It's not even like, oh, take 1 point of damage. It's just you're dead.
You're
dead.
dead.
The Invincible Boss Challenge.
Ugh.
It's like one of those old school boulder leveling crash.
And I will say, after all of that, the Mr. Dark fight was that perfect mix of a little difficult with like a great feel to it.
And here's the big kicker about that game. There's collectibles in each level.
6.
In order to access the final boss, you have to get every single collectible in every single level.
That's how some people got bored and become collection hoarders.
It's like playing Kirby 64 all over again.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Which I actually did get that. 0-2 fight is creepy, but
Yeah. Well, technically, that was kind of mine and yours. Did you want to mention one, or Menakai, or?
yeah, you can go.
Good.
I'm just kind of spitballing off of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm coming up with them on the fly.
So this is going to almost be a two-parter. We've mentioned her before, and we've also mentioned it before.
I
Cynthia
was
and
about to
Giratina
say.
from Pokemon.
Yep.
Specifically, Legends Arceus, Giratina, and arguably Pokemon Platinum, Cynthia, because they made Platinum harder.
True.
Either way, Diamond and Pearl, that Garchomp takes lives. They made them stronger in Platinum.
Man, sounds like I need to play Platinum.
I can do this in the Pokemon episode, but the best way to play some of the Pokemon games is going through the third version.
You don't be crazy. Co-op Platinum, the three of us.
Triple threat co-op.
We sit there together, post it up on the big screen, record it, and
Triple threat co-op.
do it together. That'd be really fun.
I'll say this. Shout out to Drayano. He makes Pokemon ROM hacks. He made Renegade Platinum. I'm pretty sure her Garchomp is level 90.
Jesus.
That's disgusting.
And he hasn't put fairy typing in yet, but he's working on that.
Oh, thank
But
you.
he's going to have counters for that because every trainer is competitive.
Oh.
It doesn't matter what game it is, be it Blaze Black Voltway, Blaze Black 2, Voltway 2, Fire Red Omega. Mind you, Fire Red Omega, he was just starting.
Yeah.
Heart Gold Soul Silver, he did Sacred Gold Storm Silver. He redid Blaze Black 2 and Voltway 2 with the fairy typing involved, and also stats and changes from Legends Arceus in the game.
Wow.
And every Pokemon that could Mega Evolve, it now has their Mega Evolve typings. So Ampharos,
Yeah,
for
you were
example,
showing me
is
that.
Electric Dragon. Charizard is Fire Dragon. Milotic is pure water still. I keep thinking she's fairy. But they made a Rapidash Fire Fairy. They made Ninetales Fire Fairy. So and everything is competitive. So that's fun. But you don't need to get competitive with Cynthia in Platinum because she will kill you.
Yeah.
And that Giratina fight was, one, amazing, and two, I don't like it. I love it. I don't like it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, though. Like, the second time I went to that boss fight, I was prepared. So it really wasn't that difficult. But
That first time, it's like, oh, he's dead. No, he's not.
Yeah. And not even, and just like watching the whole event unfold, you think he's done and beaten, and just out of the back behind him, this black portal comes open and Giratina crawls out of it.
Comes out
It's
of it
like,
with a steel chair.
yeah.
Just about, yeah, but it's it's not his origin form. It's like he's still got legs. You
Damn.
beat him. Mind you, Giratina is called the Great Wall in Pokemon because this boy takes hits. Super effective. It's still doing like not even a quarter of itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You beat it. You think, oh, he's done. No, his eyes come back glowing red and he changes into his origin form. So now you got to fight him again. And I don't think you're healed after that first one.
Yeah.
Mind you, they gave the guy Cynthia's team just about from Diamond and Pearl. You can
That's pretty
sweep.
good. I think
You
it's
could
exact.
sweep through that almost because she doesn't have a Sui and Arcanine. But it's pretty much you can sweep it. You're done. Giratina is the real boss in that game.
Yeah.
But then Cynthia in Platinum, she starts out with Spiritomb, who has absolutely no weaknesses.
It doesn't?
Because, mind you, this is before Fairy typing. Fairy type is his one weakness now. Ghost Dark has no weakness. So you can hit it,
Yeah,
but then,
because Ghost doesn't affect Dark, or Ghost is not super effective against Dark.
and you can't hit it with a Psychic type because Dark completely nulls that. Can't touch it with normal type.
Wait, it nulls it? I thought it halves it.
Psychic types do not do damage to Dark types.
I always forget that.
And you
I
can't
never run, so I don't run very many.
And you
I
can't
don't
hit it
either.
with the normal type. You can't hit it with a fighting type because Ghost is immune to fighting.
Yeah.
So this thing, it saps hits, but then it will most likely try to burn you and land it because that's how the computer goes. But when you try to land Will-O-Wisp, you ain't getting nothing, or it'll start flinching you with Dark Pulse. So you're getting the damage, the stab damage, and then you're getting flinched.
Well,
but you try to hit it with an Iron Head, you ain't gonna get the flinch.
Sure, cold.
You better hope to God you hit it. 'Cause I think at that point it was based off of speed, and that thing's pretty
It's
fast.
based off level.
Is it? Okay, they did change it then.
Yeah, if you have level preference, you have
then-
a higher chance to hit. I'm pretty sure.
They also
Really?
gave her
I didn't know that.
Roserade, who hits like a truck.
Yeah. Roserade is disgusting.
Lucario.
Yeah, Roserade is very.
And Lucario, too.
Lucario's what they call a glass cannon. He's just like Alakazam, just like Gengar. They hit like
yeah.
trucks. They cannot take a hit to save a life.
Yeah.
And then you give her Milotic.
Yeah.
One of the very few actually bulky water types that could also do damage at the same time.
Yep.
It's like the special version of Gyarados. Except it doesn't have the ×4 weakness to Electric because for some reason they made Gyarados water flying. I understand.
Which I find really funny.
I understand the story. We'll get about that in the other episode, but it's stupid. And then they gave her Togekiss. It's got an insane move pool because Togetic can also learn stuff like Flamethrower and all that because it's still a normal type. Then you give it like Aura Sphere and Sky Attack and all that. And then the real killer, if you survive all that, is Garchomp, who will just sweep you.
Yep.
So, yeah, Cynthia's fun. Lance, sure, cool. Dragon Master, cool. Steven and Wallace, they're cool. Alder, don't care. And
Sorry, Steven is simple.
yeah, he's simple.
Yeah.
Even in later games.
Even with his Mega Metagross.
And simple, cool, whatever. Gets us, sure. Hydreigon's a pain in the butt, whatever. Don't remember much of stuff from 60 and upwards. I don't care. Cynthia wins.
Oh, yeah. Cynthia's really the best champion, honestly.
They didn't do her justice in the anime just because they wanted Ash to win, but
I mean, can we just say that after so many years, Ash finally did win a world championship?
and it's at the end of the entire show
Yeah.
for him.
I mean, honestly, that is really the way
But
to end
also,
the show.
I
is
will
he
say it
finally
this way.
wins.
They had to give him a busted team to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Dracovish is the most busted fossil. I don't care.
I love Dracovish.
They gave him a busted giant Gengar. So I know I love that Gengar. And 2 of the 3 greatest Pokemon in competitive in Lucario and Dragonite.
Yeah, and then Pikachu.
And then Pikachu and Surfetch'd, who is arguably one of the better fighting types we've got.
Yeah.
And then you got busted Pikachu.
Well, yeah, it's Pikachu.
So,
Well, it's Ash's Pikachu. I
Yeah.
shouldn't just say it's Pikachu. It's,
it's
Ash's
Ash's
Pikachu.
who can take out a Rhydon with a Thunderbolt by hitting it in the horn.
Yeah.
And an Onyx.
Yeah, I just love how eventually they were like, yeah, Ash's Pikachu does not have any weaknesses.
Yeah.
It affects everything.
But then it gets pancaked by a Snivy at level 5 just because he couldn't use electric type moves, which wasn't going to do anything with it anyway because Snivy's a grass type. Anyways, let me save the Pokemon rant because we know how that
got
goes.
an episode for that eventually.
Yeah, we got episodes for that. Next boss.
I touched slightly on this with you in the one episode. It was just the two of us. We were talking about Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta bring up Final Fantasy VI's final boss. I gave you the basic synopsis of what he does. So halfway through the game, the final boss basically goes, "I'm going to destroy the world," and he basically causes an apocalypse to the point where like the entire world is shattered into different continents and everything's run down and pretty much just destroyed. There's like I think he eliminates like over half the world's population too, or some shitty thing like that.
Who is he, Thanos?
No, he's just a clown. His name is Kefka.
I think that makes it worse than him being a clown.
He is kind of like he's like this emperor's advisor, but he wants the power for himself.
Jafar.
So yeah, basically like a Jafar situation, except he actually kind of wins for a bit. So yeah, he turns the world into apocalypse.
So I know I cannot wait for the Disney episode of this podcast.
The whole story at that point is basically travel the world, find your scattered friends, and go fight Kefka. And by the end of the game, he basically ascends to the position of a god. It's a 4-phase final boss fight where you slowly like ascend as you're beating the stage. It's just very difficult all around. Like the first phase is like physical, the second phase is magical, does all sorts of bullshit, and the third phase can insta-kill allies and petrify allies and do all these stats effects.
Damn.
And then he shows up at the very end, and I gotta say, we were talking about the music beforehand. Dancing Mad is one of my favorite Final Fantasy songs because it is a 15-minute long song because it shows all 4 phases. And the final one, when you go into phase 4 of the Kefka fight, he basically ascends from the heavens as an angel. And then he's like, you know, what is life? What is death? What is hope? What are dreams? They're all awful, miserable things. He says, I'm going to bring an end to it all. And then you fight. And you're literally fighting in the heavens against him.
Nice.
And at some point, he just basically goes, he does all these really powerful attacks. And then he pulls bullshit. And he goes, he uses an ability called Heartless Angel. What it does is
This is while I hit
sets
my mic stand.
everybody's health down to 1
Oh shit!
instantly. And
Shenanigans.
then he almost immediately takes an action afterwards, which is usually just a physical, like a single hit physical attack. But having everybody drop to 1 HP and then getting hit for 3,000 damage, which, 9,999's limit, so 3K is...
That's a third of your health.
Yes.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's normally what he does. He just goes Heartless Angel, physical attack, 3,000 damage. That person's dead.
At that point, all he's got to do is breathe on you the wrong way.
But
Yeah.
like, if you've ever heard, I'm sure like through your adventures on the internet, you've heard of like Sonic EXE and stuff like that. You know the laugh from Sonic EXE? That's Kefka. That
Oh, okay.
that's Kefka's laugh. So and that plays in the middle of Dancing Mad too. Like there's a pause in the song and it does the laugh, and it is just. Oh, I got more music to play for you after we're done with this podcast. Very good boss fight. Very, very fun. You have to bring every single party member with you because if any of them die or stay petrified through phases, they get swapped out. Which also makes it difficult too because if your first party dies out, half the time you got just the weaker party members behind you. But I played that game enough. I got to the point where. You get a little talking Moogle as a party member. You could choose to save the Moogle or get a golden hairpin, which prevents petrify. You obviously don't get very many golden hairpins accessories that you can wear to prevent petrify. So people are like, ooh, shiny. But no, keep the Moogle. He's a fluffy little fucker, and I love him. I played that game for so long, leveled the Moogle up. I took him into the final boss solo, and he won. He had a 67% dodge chance and a 70% parry chance, which parry was a mechanic that they put into 6. It's not in a lot of the other mainline titles, where it was basically instead of just dodging, it just blocked. Like it had like 2 different chances or something. But he dodged physical attacks like 70% of the time and dodged magic attacks like 60% of the time. So they'd go, hey, we're going to petrify you. Missed.
No.
And then I'd go to attack with him. I kitted him up, level 99 and everything. Gave him just a lance, because that's what he uses. Swing, 9,999. Swing, 9,999.
Damn.
And he would always double attack because of the accessories I have on him. So he's doing 20k damage a turn. And it's just like, look at me, I am Moogle.
Damn. So you wouldn't really know anything about these games, but you would. From Day of Reckoning 1 and 2.
I don't know much about 1. I know 2.
The problem with these wrestling games, during the story mode, you have
These
to...
were some of the few games that did have story mode with wrestling because they phased it out afterwards
Yeah.
and then brought it back, but it wasn't that great.
In these games, you have to beat the matches in order to progress the story.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you have to restart the match. One of the matches in Day of Reckoning 2, you play against the Big Show.
Oh, boy.
And you know who Big Show is?
Yeah.
The world's largest athlete.
In a steel cage match. And in order to win, you have to climb the cage and escape. Here's the problem. Big Show is on you like a rabid wolf. On top of that, you have a time limit.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it's about 15 minutes
Yes.
Crap.
to beat the
And
match.
it took me umpteen times to beat that stupid match. Somehow, I got it to where I was climbing over the cage because he can stop you from climbing the cage.
Yeah.
He can pull you down. So,
Or he can just shake the cage and you fall down.
yeah.
And climbing the cage, there's a stamina system in the game. You climb the cage, your stamina's down. And it takes you longer to get up. And when you do get up, you're slower than molasses trying to
Yes.
get him from doing it.
So
9 times out of 10, he's fine.
somehow I beat the match to where he was just standing there and I climbed out of the cage. I don't know why it was after the 12 billion thousand times I tried to beat it. And then there was another match. You probably remember this. Kenzo Suzuki, Orlando Jordan, Heiner Reich, and you in a fatal 4-way.
No, the kicker with that was, I'm pretty sure it was the Fatal 4-Way table match.
Was it?
I don't remember. I
I
remember.
thought it was just a regular fatal
I remember a
4-way.
whole lot of tables in
Maybe it was, but problem is with the fatal 4-way, you have to only beat one person to beat. The to be the winner.
Yeah.
And
But-
in a tables match, it's the first person to put your opponent through a table.
Oh, wow.
So you're managing one whole separate fight where you're trying to get your own started
Huh.
while
Yes.
trying to stop them from getting through a table.
And not depleting your stamina.
Yeah, that was a bad part of Day Reckoning too, the stamina system. I'm glad they took that out.
Yeah.
Or gave you the option to take it out.
And then the previous game, the first Day of Reckoning. Did you play the first Day of Reckoning, Minikai?
I think I only did like the co-op-ish, like versus each other. I don't think I touched story mode.
So, story mode, the very final match that you have to win the title is with The Undertaker. That is the hardest match in the game. It's just a regular match.
Honestly, at that point in that era, as it should be.
Yeah. Putting a nice little bow on this. Day of Reckoning 1 and 2, the freaking story mode, they are hard as hell.
Phenomenal. The only one who could beat that story mode wise is Here Comes the Pain's story mode.
True. Very true.
But they were phenomenal.
Yes.
I got another to go off of that one. This ain't part of my boss thing, but another from Day Reckoning 2 that caught me completely off guard. You're drafted to SmackDown. So you're dealing with Teddy Long. You know what Teddy Long is known for.
Mm-hmm.
He puts you in what's called a Hell in a Cell match. It's pretty much a steel cage, but you have about, 7 feet of room between the ring and the cage.
Yeah.
But there's a roof. You have the ability to bust out of it and climb up, do all that fun stuff. But he's mad at you for something. I don't recall what it was. He puts you in a Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker.
Oh.
And that is his signature match. I believe you could use his urn as a weapon. I pretty much took that and bludgeoned him with it and then beat him because I wasn't ready to actually fight The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I beat him that way because I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to, no. Like, I was thinking, okay, he's going to put me against like JBL or something because he was also in the ring. He said, lower the cell. I'm like, okay, cool, who am I fighting? Then the music started. And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Dong.
I don't know. Like, you know,
In this era, The Undertaker was at his scariest, arguably. And his
and
best.
on top of that, WWE made good story modes in those games.
They did.
Like actual
Phenomenal.
challenging story modes.
Yeah.
They put more depth in the newer ones, but I haven't played them enough to be like, oh, this is like the greatest one ever.
Yeah.
Because I've played through Day Reckoning 2 story mode. I've played through Here Comes the Pain story mode. They're phenomenal.
That would have to be another
That's-
topic. Wrestling games.
Yeah, that's minus the actual wrestling podcast we're going to do. That's got to be a whole separate one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just Russ. I don't know if he has played them or other special guests for that one.
That's true.
I can't guarantee if he has or not.
I'll still be here regardless. I just like talking. So
I mean, to be fair, to your credit, you do know the Big Show and the Undertaker. So we'll
Yeah,
give you that
I
credit. There's
know
a lot
some
of people who like they don't know wrestling and they don't know who.
there's that one
Hulk
guy.
Hogan
Though,
is.
there's that one guy though nowadays that I just can't see, and I don't understand why.
I have no idea who you're talking about. I can't see him either. How am I supposed
I
to
don't
know?
know. Sometimes
Oh,
I just see
yeah.
some. Sometimes I just see some floating pants, and I'm like, why the fuck are
I
there
don't know.
floating
Yeah,
pants? in the
that's
ring?
true.
Like,
There's one guy
And then like you see people taking pictures
of themselves.
of themselves, and it's like, yeah,
yeah,
Only guy we can make that joke for.
I know a few wrestlers. I don't really. It's not really my thing.
There's
but I
some
watch
who
it
like
now.
they claim like they. Obviously, you'll know some just from pop culture itself,
Yeah.
like Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
John Cena, The Rock. There's some people who don't make the connection that the John Cena from WWE is the same John Cena as in Hollywood, and they don't know The Rock and Dwayne Johnson the same guy.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, really? But yeah, that's another rant for another time.
yeah.
I got one that I don't know if you would know this because I don't know if you played these games. You would for sure. For bosses, the entire Seed family from Far Cry 5.
I know what you're talking
I
about.
started
haven't played
and got stuck.
So do you want to know? Because all of them are kind of like.
You might as well. I'll play it eventually.
So the first one, you're in what's called a dogfight. You're in a plane trying to shoot the other guy's
yeah.
plane down.
That's the first one I fought.
Yep, I literally, you know who I'm talking about. I had to get Pierce's help in co-op. I had to delve into co-op mode to beat that one.
it. Damn.
I cannot fly in that stinking game.
Really quick with that boss fight. That was the first one that I fought. I don't know what happened or how it happened. He shoots me out of the sky, right? And then I respawn a few feet away from him. Somehow his plane was down, and he was running towards me in the street, and I just shot him in the head and won.
See, what happens to me is I shoot him out of the sky and he falls through a parachute, but he hits a tree.
Yeah.
And then he's just sitting there.
Like, no, I respawn, I look, and he's running towards me. Like, running away from his plane that blew up. I was like, what the? Okay. Dead.
Shoot, yeah.
And I won.
Damn.
The other one, he's
It's like, I feel like I've gotten cheated.
a little bit, yeah. Some of them you can't cheese. There's the other one, the redhead. Think Abraham from Walking Dead, if you've seen him.
Yeah.
Pretty much that without the mustache.
Huh. Okay.
He's former military. I'm 99% sure. He almost runs a boot camp, slave camp
Oh.
in one area because they all have their own separate areas in Montana.
Yeah.
You're pretty much going through your own mind and madness before you find him. And then you don't think you shoot him because it's still in your mind. And then you wander out of the compound. He's just sitting on a stump, having his final breath, and he dies sitting up.
Damn, that's pretty badass.
Have you played any of Far Cry 5, Suitcase?
I haven't played Far Cry 5. I know it. Cheeseburger.
I love cheeseburger. I love pizzas too.
I just love the whole premise of that game. You get these
Cultist.
religious, quote-unquote, cultists that will literally put scars in your body.
That's the
for
one with the
your
dogfight.
sins.
Mr. Head Guy, I don't remember if that's Jacob or Joseph. I can't keep the two straight. You don't kill him. But this guy, in desperation of being caught, legitimately sets off a nuclear bomb and wipes that entire thing out. And you end up in one place that's called Dutch's Hideout, underground. Mm-hmm. You think you're safe because Dutch pulled you out. Dutch gets shot off screen. And in walks Joseph Seed, the head guy.
Oh,
the one who set the bomb off. So now you're stuck in there with him. Well, nuclear fallout fades away. And then Far Cry New Dawn happens. It's literally a continuation of your whole new character. There is a masked individual in that game. He is a silent, almost an assassin with a sniper rifle. You're trying to rebuild after Joseph set the bomb off. They're pretty sure, the theory is that masked assassin is the deputy that you play as in Far Cry 5. Because he is loyal to Joseph and only Joseph. He will work with you, but he is loyal to him. And he's pretty sure that's the deputy that you play as because you don't know how long you're trapped in there.
Yeah.
But then you try to rebuild everything else. Cheeseburger shows up. Pizza shows up. But it's like a continuation of the game. Now a whole bunch of other people are ruling. Joseph's gone off to the mountains. And then his son's being a D-bag. That's a whole other story. But yeah, the whole Seed family, that's fun. Faith she's crazy. I love those games. I'm playing through 4 right now. Just I have the satisfaction of beating all the ones I can from 3 up. Far Cry Primal is also great. I don't care anyone's argument of it's not great because there's no guns. It's 10,000 BC. Get over it.
Yeah, fair enough.
They just discovered fire.
Ooga booga.
Anyways, that's my rant. My boss for that time.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Was it at least tasty?
You nasty.
I was cleaning off my finger.
I don't like that answer anymore, especially since they don't know where that finger was.
Do you even know where your finger's been?
I will make you imagine what it is.
Scratch and sniff.
I'd rather not.
I don't even know how to transition to.
Do, 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 do.
Well, it's your turn, technically.
That too.
I mean, we're talking about video game bosses when we have to really talk about the video game boss, and that's Bowser.
I was going to bring him up next time. I'm so glad you did before me.
Like really, that is the first, in my opinion, the first real instance of a boss with any sort of personality or.
And it's only gotten bigger. Need I remind you of Jack Black playing Bowser in that stinking movie?
Yeah,
that. I was apprehensive, as everybody else was. Jack Black is Bowser. You don't see it.
No,
you don't see Chris Pratt being Mario. Don't see it.
Do you yield? I think not.
But then the performance happens. I'm like, that was amazing.
You know, I won't lie either. Everybody shit on them going, hey, Chris Pratt is Mario. And then he actually did a pretty decent job.
He ain't a bad actor. We just got to stop putting him in everything.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm actually glad in the movie they put a reason why he doesn't talk like this all the time. It's an act for the commercial.
Yeah.
It's like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's why he's talking normally. And I'm kind of glad
I mean, sure, you could be
didn't
Italian and
they
not-
didn't blatantly show that, but they kind of did with the commercial.
Originally, he wasn't supposed to be like this. It
Yeah.
was supposed to be a Brooklyn accent. You know, he was from Brooklyn. He's not like,
Yep.
you know, hey Luigi, we got to go out and fix a toaster.
Yeah,
All right, Mario, let's go fix the toaster.
but
Fix
that,
the toaster, I'm gonna make you swim in the
Luigi,
fishes.
let's go punch a Bowser in the face and maybe the nutsack.
but that is true though. When you think of the original big boss in the game, Bowser. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't.
Bowser really is like,
Arguably one of, if not the greatest video game boss, period, because he's been in every single one of them pretty much.
Yeah,
It's Bowser.
I mean,
Dry
like,
Bowser,
like almost
Bowser.
any. It's the same thing with just Mario in general. You could show anyone a picture of Mario, and regardless of whether or not they've picked up a video game, they would be able to go, "Oh, it's Mario."
It's Mario.
It's so easy to, recognize. Mm-hmm. I don't know what I'm thinking right now.
I mean, we kind of covered it. Bowser's
You
arguably-
think?
Little eepy, yeah. I don't think, dude. I just kind of go.
my brain is just like, wee.
It's been a long day, folks. Long day.
Where are we sitting at time wise?
Not even 9 o'clock.
Well, I meant like.
We talk about it with the podcast, buddy.
Like 44 minutes.
Ain't bad,
Which
actually.
the time is going to be off because I'll be editing and taking parts out that are just dead space.
That's
And
fair.
adding farts.
Yes. So,
I want to know I've been farting since I've been sitting here.
now you did not beat Breath of the Wild, right?
Not even close.
Did you even touch Breath of the Wild?
I got off the island with the hang glider, got sniped by a guardian because I accidentally walked right up to the palace and was like, wow, this fucking sucks.
I got sniped from a guardian clear across the stinking clearing.
Realized that, oh, hey, I can reflect things with a shield? Wonder if I could do it with the guardian shot. Reflected my first shot ever shot at me and one-shot the thing. I was like,
Lucky.
wait.
And that's like a certain kind of timing that you have to perfect.
Yeah, I saw the laser. I heard the ding, 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 ding. I was like, wait, it stopped dinging.
No.
Shield. And I just watched it go, ching, ching. I
Boom.
was like, oh.
Yeah. I can't do that, but
Suitcase likey.
so
Morally distinct mouse
I'm
voice
gonna be
one.
completely honest with you. The Ganon boss fight is garbage.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's not good. And okay, so I beat him by using the Gerudo shield, and you only can use that 3 times that it recharges.
Mm-hmm.
I basically dodged him that whole point, waiting for it to recharge, did it again, and killed him.
See, this kind of contradicts the argument because Breath of the Wild, in terms of story mode and just the world in general, is kind of great despite being so open. But then their boss was kind of garbage.
But before you say something, the DLC final boss is the best boss fight, probably one of the best boss fights I've ever done.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the final boss? Have you ever seen videos or anything?
Not a
So,
clue.
so from doing the shrines, at the end there's like that mummified dude with the mask face thing,
Yeah.
and it gives you the ball. At the very end, when you do the very last shrine, that thing comes alive,
Nice.
and you have to challenge him to a fight.
Ooh.
And
Mind you,
you-
that says DLC or that, like, period.
yes,
Nice.
you were on this giant
nice.
you're on this giant circular platform really high up in the sky, which you could fall off of. I found that out the hard way. And basically
Was this backslash all over again?
no, it's just like you're not paying attention and you just fall off.
Oh, nice.
Because so basically he challenges you on everything that you've learned throughout the entire game. And the boss music in it. Now, normally I like final boss songs with hard rock guitar and drums and stuff
Yeah.
like that. There's more like acoustic instruments because it's supposed to be like this ancient deity, and
Makes sense.
it gets you pumped.
Yeah.
Like it's like once you start hearing the music, it's like shit's going down. Shit is about to hit
Can't
the
wait
fan.
till we
Damn.
do part 2 of video game music. I got a whole bunch
Yeah,
of
we
that.
Yeah.
gotta do that eventually too.
So
I made a list. A lot of you
there's
will
a
agree
part
with
there's a part in this boss fight where he multiplies himself, and there's like 20 of him all around you, and they're all circling you.
me.
Like,
Listen, using double team is cheating.
yeah, and they're all circling you. You have to use your ears because all the rest of them sound like they're like walking on water, like fairy kind of footprints.
Yeah.
The one that isn't, you actually hear the footprints of him walking on physical ground.
Yeah.
And that's the one you have to attack. So you literally have to sit there, listen, right there, and you attack him.
So what happens if you hit the other ones?
Probably just fades them.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Nothing-
They just disappear.
That's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But also, I get it.
And you have to do it quickly, or also all attack you at once.
Oh, damn.
There's the drawback.
So
I
you
was waiting
have
for the
so
drawback.
here's the big thing: if you've never done the DLC final boss, have some very beefy armor to take a hit.
And cook lots of food.
Yes,
Hamburger.
yes, especially lots of food, because the knockback is a bitch.
Ooh, nice.
That's one of the reasons how I flew off the side.
Knockback.
But seriously though, it is a great boss fight. It is definitely worth the DLC in my opinion, and it is definitely worth getting to that point.
So while we're on the point of like Zelda boss, and you're talking about how Ganon's just a shitty battle in Breath of the Wild, have you guys played through Twilight Princess?
Nope.
No, I can't do the motion
The
controls.
two of you are gonna laugh at this.
I'll say this. Full disclosure, my first Zelda game was legitimately Breath of the Wild that I bought wanting to play.
Really? Okay.
Just Zelda never interested me.
You
Do
can
I want
play
to now?
Twilight
Yes.
Princess, by the way, on GameCube without motion controls.
Yep.
Yeah.
You should give it a try.
But that game is also expensive.
Yes. So the
Yeah.
final boss is, it's Ganon, like every other game. Well, most other games.
Whoa, spoiler.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So it starts out like he possesses Zelda, and you have to fight Zelda.
Pervert.
You play the stupid tennis mini game where he shoots a ball of light at you, and you play tennis with it for a minute, and then it finally just zaps out. She's like, so it's like I think it's a 3-phase fight. You do that, or no, it's a 4-phase fight because you have to fight Beast Ganon as Wolf Link, and then you do the horseback phase, and then you do the final phase, which is the arena. He basically summons a circular arena, and it's you and him stuck in it, and it's man on man, sword and
Mano y mano.
So there's a way to cheese that final phase. Okay. Fishing rod. You pull out a fishing rod, cast the line, and Ganon just goes, huh? And looks at it. He just looks at you, cast a fishing line out, and he's like, the fuck are you doing? And then you can just hit him. You can get like 2 or 3 free hits in. He'll watch you like take the fishing rod out and jingle it in front of him, and he's just like a baby with keys. He's just like, and then you could just smack him 3 times, and then he goes back to trying to kill you, and then you can take the fishing rod out again and just.
That's insane.
You could do that.
It's
really funny. Look it up real quick. Just look up Twilight Princess Ganon fishing rod or something, and it's really funny because he just it's not even like he looks down at you and he watches the fishing rod. It's really freaking funny. It's also a very good Ganon fight if you actually do it non-cheese. It's a very fun fight because it really is you just lock onto him and it's really just a sword fight. You're pulling it up right now.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
It's honestly one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a Legend of Zelda game, really. He legitimately just is like, huh?
I never seen that before. I never seen no fishing rod like that before.
Yeah, somebody had told that to me. I was like, there's no way that this works, and I did it, and he looks at it, and I'm just like, wow, this is funny.
Tee-hee.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, with that you could actually choose the fight. And then what happens is at the end you you hit a QTE at the very end and you stab your sword down into him and he screams. He's like, ah! And it's just the most awkward cutaway. It cuts away to Zelda at one point while he's screaming and Zelda's there just it's my alarm, sorry.
I was about to say, phone call.
Pizza Tower.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it was just funny.
That's hilarious. So in Rayman 2, there is a part in it where a friend of yours swallows something bad and he's really sick. And you basically have to give him a life potion, and the basically the world of nightmares and sorrow and darkness and stuff.
Nice.
And it's like, cool, I have to go there. The boss fight is you sliding down the slide, and all you see on the top bottom of the screen is just teeth like this.
Nice.
And they're just like dripping, and you just hear them like, and just like laughing. And that's the first part of the boss fight. You have to go down the slide and not die, and go through these obstacles. And then the boss fight itself isn't really difficult. It was just memorable because, keep in mind, this is like at like 12 o'clock at night, and I was the only one in my house, and I was a kid, and seeing this teeth on both the top and the bottom of the screen scared the shit out of me. But
Honestly, as it should.
But yeah, it was actually a pretty cool moment right there.
To play off both attacking at the same time and also terrifying. So there's a game called Days Gone.
Oh God, I know that.
It's pretty much zombie apocalypse happened, and you're a biker trying to survive. But some of these zombies are smart, but they almost think it's almost like a hive mind.
Yeah.
Because there is a boss called the Horde. It is hundreds, if not pushing 1,000 zombies, moving as one in a group. It is more of a problem than a zombie bear, which is also a boss on this thing.
Oh.
You can hit the ones on the outskirts of this horde, fine, whatever. It won't do much of anything. They won't distract the horde, all that. You throw fire in the middle of this horde, or you do anything in the middle of this horde, they all turn to you as one and start running.
Yeah.
They run.
Oh shit!
This ain't your Walking Dead
I was
zombies.
gonna say, this isn't a Romero
This
zombie.
is-
This is like a Left 4 Dead zombie.
This is Left 4 Dead, clicker zombie, even worse than the clickers. Because
Oh,
they
shit.
can see you. And you pretty much have to just... And some, they'll come in waves, they'll come in once. You'll have 10, 20, you'll have the whole horde. You can hit the 10, 20, sure, whatever. Hit the 5, gotta get them all before the horde happens. But the horde has like a Dark Souls level HP bar. It's not fun.
Shit.
Mind you, it's not necessarily an optional boss. You just have to hold it off long enough for your reinforcements to get there, I'm pretty sure. But you're stuck there. You die here, you're right back at the beginning of that fight. You ain't get to go do something else.
Yeah.
You're here.
Damn.
You deal with this horde. And you're in an abandoned train yard. So you're like, it's like in an enclosed space, but they'll come at you. And it's not fun.
Damn.
Great boss, great fight, great game. I love the game. It wasn't fun. I'm sitting there first time, I'm like, no. I had to take like a 2-week break off of Days Gone after that fight. 'Cause I'm like, no. I don't want to know what's afterwards.
Jeez.
If there's anything else worse than this, no. Also, there's a zombie bear in the beginning, and he charges at you with his mouth open.
Oh.
And he's like an anaconda. It's like he breaks his own jaw, and he's just stomping at you.
Ugh.
And bears are normally bulky. This boy bulky and undead. Great game. I love it. Also, I know the guy who did the motion capture and voice for the same character is also the same guy who did the voice and motion capture for Darth Maul and Clone Wars. Sam Witwer. Yeah, great fight. Great fight. Great game. I love it. Next.
Is your brain thinking?
You ain't got nothing else now, do you?
I don't have anything else.
You got nothing else. All right.
All right.
Not off the top of my head.
So you played through Infinite, right? Bioshock Infinite.
Oh yeah, I played all the Bioshocks.
And
I
you
was like,
and you
what the-
beat the game and everything.
Yep.
You remember the final boss?
Yeah.
That was a bitch.
Yeah.
We're both like, what in the world was Infinite?
So let me, if correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm remembering
It's
this
been a long
correctly.
time since I played, so.
So Medicaid, let me put it this way. You got this song. It's called the Songbird, and basically you can tell it to attack a certain something.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have all these. You were in this giant area with like these like generator things or something you have to destroy. I think, don't you?
I think. I don't.
It's something like that. And these blimps are shooting at you while people are running at you and shooting at you.
Nice.
So you have to press a certain button at a certain time to have the Songbird attack the blimps while you're trying to destroy things on this flying airship, while trying to shoot everybody that's running at you.
That's fun.
And these things that you have to attack all have HP. So you have to knock all that down. I beat the boss fight my first try. Barely. I had very little health left. So you have to keep track of 3 or 4 different things at the same time.
Your health, their health.
Yes, it is a bitch. And it is absolutely crazy, too, because afterwards I was, like, shot.
Oh, yeah, it's not really like a boss fight. It's more of like a horde encounter sort of thing.
Yes, you have, like, multiple people
I know what
running
you're
at
talking
you.
about now.
And it's like,
yeah.
dude, I was drained.
Yeah, that was not a fun fight.
Oh, and then you saw the final bit of the whole game in which, yeah, mind blown.
Yep. I remember that bit.
The Bioshock games as a whole were very good.
Supposedly they're making another one.
Suppose you're also making a movie.
I heard a rumor that supposed that they are working on one.
That would be incredible.
I am partly chubbed right now.
That's a little weird to be talking about on a podcast, but okay.
It's kind
I'm
of weird.
sorry,
to
I
feel
like
about,
those games.
Kind of
Don't
weird. To
think
feel,
about it. You'll burn your corneas out and have nightmares.
kind of
Yeah.
weird to feel about a video game, buddy.
About what?
Mind you, they're virtual. They ain't got feelings for you.
I know. I don't care. I think
Yeah, but if I
Bioshock.
can customize them, then they can have feelings for me.
Don't start that AI nonsense.
And I don't care. I think Bioshock is some of the most interesting lores in all video games, honestly.
Would you kindly?
Dude. You know what?
I will say that was one of the bigger twists of that.
That was a big twist.
Because it's like, at first you're like, oh, Atlas is just my friend. And then you think about it when Andrew Ryan's just basically, would you kindly club me over the head with this? And you start doing it without... Then you think about it, and it's like, wait a second.
You've been mind controlled
Would you
the
kindly,
entire
would you kindly,
freaking
would you
time.
kindly, would you kindly?
Yep. I
And it's
completely
like,
forgot to even mention that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Good game.
Yeah. Oh, and the freaking Big Sisters in 2. Those can die. Now, you haven't played them yet.
Nope.
So, in the first game, there's these Big Daddies where they're...
I know who they are.
Okay, you know what they are.
I know who they
So,
are.
in Bioshock 2, there's an equivalent of the Big Daddies, but they are skinnier and faster and hit harder.
Nice.
The Big Sisters. And they don't just like, oh, I'm going to run at you. They're like jumping off the walls and freaking running at you and attacking you, then jumping over here, then attacking you, then jumping over here. It's like, sit still, you stupid bitch. And they will just
That'd be too
you're
easy.
just going through the level, do. All of a sudden, Big Sister out of nowhere. It's like, no.
No.
And she's not even a boss fight. That's a problem. She'll just randomly show up out of nowhere.
She's kind of like a boss fight that happens over the course of the entire game.
Yeah. It just, like, multiple spots in the game, she just pops up. But it's like, oh my gosh.
now I want to re-download Bioshock 1 and try to do the wrench only run again. Dude, wrench only is really fun, though.
Really?
Like, late game, you can, like, 4-tap Big Daddies with the wrench if you do your build right, yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, it's a mix between using the right plasmids, using the right passive plasmids, and hitting something and then just going, dunk!
So, here's my problem with the first Bioshock, and I didn't know this. You're not supposed to kill the little sisters, and I didn't know that.
I save them every time.
So, basically, if you kill the little sisters in the game, you're broken at the end of the game. Like, you are actually really powerful, and the final boss, you kill in like a few hits.
Yeah.
And you get the worst ending, because there's like 6 different endings to the game, I think.
I think there's only technically 3, but
I couldn't remember if...
It depends on if you save every single one, if you harvest every single one, and then if you harvest just a few.
Yeah.
Of
That's
course,
fine.
obviously, the not harvesting any of them is the best ending, but you have a lot less resources to work through. But the other half of it is if you save a bunch of little sisters, the woman in the story who's like, please save them, will give you like fat gifts and really good plasmids.
Really?
Yeah, you get like really good passives. You get, I think through her you get a passive that basically goes, oh, you see that Big Daddy over there without a little sister? Yeah, throw this ball at him. Wait, why? Oh, he's your friend now. You see that guy over there who's coming after you? Yeah, watch. Yeah, you basically get a befriend Big Daddy plasmid for
I gotta
rescuing
play
little
through that
sisters.
game again now.
Nice.
And it's just like, hey, Mr. Bubbles, come here.
Oh, and now the way that the way that they introduce the Big Daddies to you, you're behind this glass and you're looking into a room, and there's this guy. I don't know. I think he tried to attack the Big Daddy. They have
No, he was attacking a little sister.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
It was one of the schizos.
And the Big Daddies have a drill for a hand. Mm-hmm. And they just drilled into his body and just turn him into mincemeat.
Yeah, he goes to kill. He goes to attack the little sister, and she goes like, "Mr. Bubbles," and he comes out of nowhere and just. And she's like,
yeah, you did now.
Mr. Bubbles. Yeah. I can see the angels. They say some weird shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. I tell you what, that is one of those games that you're just walking along and you just hear like methodical laughter in the next room. Next to you don't know where it's coming from.
You know what my favorite part in the first BioShock is? And it's just a simple encounter, but the way they play it off, I love it. You walk into, I think it was a bar. You walk into a bar, and there's the pump action shotgun on the ground. And you walk up and grab the shotgun, and as soon as your model goes, the lights shut off. And you're literally just got a tiny little spotlight like underneath you where the shotgun was. And then you just start hearing laughter and footsteps. And as you're like pulling the shotgun up, going like, oh no, where's this coming through? They come at you from the darkness. Like the lights all shut off and they come rushing in at you.
Damn, it's been so long, I don't remember.
It's so awesome.
That sounds badass, though.
Because it's like the lights shut off and you go, oh shit, what's happening? And you think that like something's going to jump out and scare you. Then it's just normal enemies. And it's just the feeling of like the aesthetic of like, oh, it's almost pitch black in here.
Oh no, what did I just do?
Yeah.
There was, I think this was from BioShock 1. I know we're keep going on about this, but it's such a great series. There was a part, I think, in like a science lab where you're looking through these like drawers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you turn around, there's like a dead lab dude right behind you.
Yep.
Like as soon as you turn around, it's right there in your face and scares the shit out of you.
Yep. I think it still jump scares me to this day. Because I forget about it.
Yep. But anyways, great series if you've never played it. Yeah, highly recommend that series. That a guy?
I technically have it. I just haven't touched it yet. Too many other games.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah. Serious one. I don't know if you know, because I don't know half the games you play that are not turn-based combat, Final Fantasy RPG kind of things. Not that that's a bad thing. The Khan from Ghost of Tsushima.
I've seen Ghost of Tsushima, never played it.
Just because.
I need to.
Is it good?
It's phenomenal.
I haven't beaten it. I beat the first island.
So you didn't get to like end.
Yeah, so I haven't.
You know good and well you fight the Khan at the end.
Yeah.
So, through the game, you know this. You start as samurai. Yeah. Samurai are honorable. But the Mongols invade your entire island.
As the Mongols are wont to do.
The man is named Colton Khan. He is the nephew of one of them, and then the grandson of Genghis. So I think he's the nephew of Kublai and grandson of Genghis Khan. And he wants to make his reputation by taking over this entire island. And you are the nephew of a guy almost as high up as the Shogun named Lord Sakai. No. You're Lord Sakai. I don't remember what your uncle's name is.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I'm literally replaying through it. I don't remember his name. But he gets kidnapped. You go and try to capture him. Well, free him. So you fight the Khan on a bridge in front of a place called Castle Kaneda. And you were not supposed to win this fight. It's not even possible.
I tried.
You get to a certain point, and he's just like, nope. Cutscene happens. He throws you off the bridge. So then it ends up you get revived by a thief. And now you're slowly, she tells you, listen, this is war. You don't get to be honorable anymore. So now you're slowly breaking your samurai code, starting to assassinate people from the back, starting to slit their throats. Going in quietly, not going, hey, I'm a samurai. Fight me face to face honorably.
And you know what really sucks about that, too? During the game, if you choose to assassinate somebody like an assassin, your main character goes, "This isn't honorable. What am I doing?"
Yep.
So you actually start questioning. It's like, should I really go down that path or just be a samurai?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's options
So it
to do that
actually
too.
makes you feel bad,
And then it will
for
give you
dishonoring your
flashbacks
code.
of, hey, your uncle taught you this or this one because you watched your father die and you didn't do anything about it. You're also a kid.
Yeah.
But, so you learn. And then at the end, you're on his own warship, the Khan. You have wiped out pretty much every single Mongol he has thrown at you. Be it his generals, be it his own army. It's him and a handful of Mongols left. He is desperate to end you to the point he sets his own warship on fire. To end
Damn.
you with it. And you could tell how desperate he is because he comes at you like a ravenous wolf that's cornered
Shit.
and hungry.
Wolf.
So it's game on now. Everything you learned throughout this game, you've got to use it. So if you go down the path of you have your throwing knives that you can use to stun them, or you go through and you hit him from behind or above, you've got to use it. He will come at you.
Damn.
And it's kind of great.
Dude, even
I love that game.
even like the start of that game.
Bro, the start of the game was great.
Oh, dude.
They're getting ready for
Have you
war.
seen any video of Ghost of Tsushima?
The only thing I know of Ghost of Tsushima is the whole thing like you have forsaken your honor and you are a slave to it.
Yep. Pretty much
This is
similar
how
to-
the whole game starts. You are running in on your horse to go to battle,
Yep.
and pretty
Your
much,
entire starting, you control it because you running through that with that horse.
yeah, you have like your whole you have like all of your like guys around you all running towards the Mongols, and what happens is you're all pretty much dead.
Oh shit.
Yeah, by the end of
And-
that, it's you and your uncle.
And the big head honcho he was talking about, he goes up to one of the samurais. He has like a bowl of soup. Or
No,
something.
that was before.
Oh, that was
That was
before.
way before. So he goes to send one of the scouts to challenge the Khan to battle one-on-one first. Send your best warrior. Okay, samurai send theirs. Khan just kind of walks up, all casual. He just kind of sniffs, dumps whatever's in a bowl on this dude. He's like, what?
It's like soup or something. I
Something.
think.
He grabs a torch from one of the Mongols sitting beside him and just casually chucks it. This guy gets set ablaze.
Damn.
And then he subsequently cut his head off.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, during that battle scene where pretty much everybody is dead, you as the main character didn't you get like 3 or 4 arrows shot at you?
Yeah, you get, I don't remember if it was before, you get knocked down somehow. And when you come to, your uncle is captured. But your sword
shit.
is sitting, like how they traditionally is, into the dirt. You crawl to go get it and get to stand up. 1 arrow in your back. You stumble. You keep going for your sword. 2nd arrow goes in your back. Same thing. You're still starting before you finally drop. You're a fingertip away from your sword.
Damn.
Yep.
And that's how the game starts.
Damn.
And then
Yeah.
you get revived by the thief. And then your main goal right now is, I don't care about anything else. I'm going to go rescue my uncle and kill this Khan.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. And then she sees you, listen. Honor's out the window. Like, we need somebody who can actually fight. Doesn't matter if it's got to be honorable or not. This is war now. And one of your masters is master archer. He teaches you how to use a bow. His name is Sensei Ishikawa. There's a point in the game where he sees you fight because you fight side by side with him. He goes, the way you fight now, it's not mine. It's not your uncle's. So which way is it? And you go, I do what I have to.
That's
And Ishikawa
I gotta
just
play
goes,
it.
fine. Don't let it get in the way. So he immediately notices, you're not fighting like samurai.
Huh.
I love that game.
Speaking of the fights in that game, there's a lot of parts in it where you just do a one-on-one duel with a boss,
Those are great too.
Ooh.
and they make it as cinematic as ever.
It's like you're watching a legitimate ninja samurai movie.
Yeah, and then you see Lord Sakai like use his thumbs, like get his sword out,
Yeah, it's a
and then
slowly
shit
just-
goes down. It just you hear like thumping like music in the
Doom.
background to get you pumped, and you have to parry a lot. You have to dodge.
There are different stances for different enemies depending on what you do. There's one specific only for shields that doesn't work as well as anything else.
Damn.
Yes.
There's some for spearmen, some for your
Those
giants.
fights are all very cinematic and very, it's like
showy.
Yes, it's like
Damn.
And then they added DLC with a whole other island to it, which I'm playing through it again to get to that point. But it's so worth it.
Yeah.
It's such a good game.
I gotta sit down and play through the rest of
I
that
think
game.
I gotta pick it up at some point.
It's phenomenal.
Lord Sakai is
Jin Sakai. I named my stinking Rowlet in Legends Arceus after him because I played that right after I finished Tsushima. I'm like, that just fits.
Yep.
What?
Are we just
You
doing
still
two?
have any ideas?
Are we
dude?
just doing-
I am tired.
Are we
That's
just doing
fine.
one-to-one rapid fire now?
Folks, we do apologize. Sometimes we're doing this at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we're all tired.
Most of us have been to work. It's been a long day.
I've had 3 hours of sleep since the morning.
That too.
Yeah. Or you want to do some rapid fires, Minikai?
Gonna do rapid fire. Hey, you want to go first?
I just did some rapid
Got
fire.
more.
With
Yeah, but you
the
rapid
ass.
fire nasty.
Shoot them off. Let's see if I have any comments.
I'll go with the final boss of Wario Land 4.
Oh, okay.
So, I did not know how to do anything with the final boss. Now, the whole final boss is Menikai. Basically, it's this like fat ghost lady chick, and you know how like
Well, that's insensitive.
like the Chinese women have like the fans that cover their face.
Yeah.
So basically, she has it covering her face. So there's like multiple phases of the fight. So the first phase, she has that, and she like throws stuff down, and you have to throw it at the fan to break the fan. Then once you do that, she gets angry, and then she has like 3 or 4 faces floating around her.
Yeah, I think so. It's like a Shara type thing.
And then you have to, and the bosses of Wario Land 4 are freaking weird.
Yeah, the cat.
Actually, the one that I hated the most was Caractus. The first one.
Yeah, the cat.
No. The very first one, it was like that ghost cactus dude that you had to break out of the flower plant.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you mean by the cat. That's a clock. No, that's not the clockwork. No, that's the... What level was that? I know what one you mean, but I don't remember what level
Like
it
the
was.
purple cat one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well, anyways, like, these characters are really, like, grotesque and really creepy and kind of... Ugh. I wouldn't want to meet them in a dark alley. But eventually, like, going back to the final boss gets to a point where her face turns like a pissed off demon face.
Yep.
An Oni.
And it just gets creepier and creepier as you progress through the boss fight. But here's the whole point. So during these boss fights, if you take too long, there's treasure chests in the background that'll eventually like start floating up into the sky and disappear. Now,
Nice.
in order to get all the treasures in the game, you have to beat the boss fight in a certain amount of time, because in the final boss fight, there's like 6 or 9 treasure chests in the background that you have to keep. Mm-hmm. And the longer you take, the more of them are going to disappear.
I thought it was every single chest that you've earned from every other boss.
Was it?
got put there.
I couldn't remember.
That might be what it is.
It's been so long, I don't remember, but it probably is. But like, I couldn't get those beaten efficiently, unfortunately. But
That's okay. We won't hold it against you.
Yeah, I beat 4. 4 was fun. I beat 3 too. 3's boss was weird too. The clown.
that was one of the other ones I was going to talk about. So might as well talk about that
By all
one really
means.
quick. So in Wario Land 3, during the whole game, you have this like shadowy face that tells you where to go.
Yep.
It's just like these eyes and smile. And he's like, you have to go get the 5 music boxes to save this world or whatever. And you get the 5 music boxes, they're all floating, and then all of a sudden the whole building around you starts like collapsing. And Wario's like running back and forth, freaking out.
Like, wah!
So that face turns into this giant, demented
Clown.
demon clown that's just sitting there, just lurking over you. And he's like, and yeah, you start the boss fight.
Nice.
Yeah, the crazy thing about Wario Land 3 is like in Wario Land 4 you had health. In Wario Land 3 you didn't. But you could actually game over during that boss fight if you got grabbed. If you got grabbed, it was just over. You didn't have a chance to really break free or anything.
Yeah, he has like Ram Man hands. He has no arms, so like come down and grab you.
So like his basic attack would be like he'd haul off on the one side and then the fist would swing in, and then he would try to do a clap on you, and if he got the clap off, you were pretty much fucked.
Yep. Scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Nice.
Because just all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, freaking demon clown looking down at you.
And then Wario's like, "Oh shit, this is not good. I'm gonna go home and have a stromboli
You guys are around the clown first.
with extra garlic." Wow.
Bro, he's about to go home and crash.
I'm gonna fucking die when I get home. My friends are like, "You want to play Final Fantasy 14 tonight?" I'm like, "Nah, fam. I've had 3 hours of sleep. I'm gonna fucking pass out.
Yeah.
I'm about doing it here."
We'll try to wrap things up for
No,
you.
we're good. I'm still here. I'm alive.
I know, but
I'm not even turning to like look at you guys. I'm that tired. I'm just kind of vibing here.
Yeah, he's just kind of here at this
The
point.
couch is comfy. We're speaking. We're having a good time with the boys.
we're talking all of a sudden here.
And turns it, dude, we got it or that because all you just hear is just him snoring through it, the whole thing.
Have you ever had a dream that you
dream.
And then the one to
you
look
wanted
at?
him to do you so much you could do anything?
No.
Motherfucker.
Malachi, you want to say a couple?
I do.
A couple.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. You get a gold star after this.
I learned words today. Can't believe it. Crikey, I got the words in me brain, mate. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think at this point you ain't got nothing in your brain but sleep.
Hey, sleep's good, mate.
Anyways.
Australian episode when?
I don't know because I don't think any of us can hold that accent very long.
Yeah. And will offend everybody.
Yeah.
But that's the fun part.
Bro, you can tell it's been long. We're all just kind of just going off now.
Yeah,
I know.
we're just kind
Anyway.
of going off each other now. Okay, go ahead.
So this one. I played through the first 3 main ones and then this one. The God of War where they first went to Norse mythology.
Oh.
I don't recall if this was the first fight, but it was an early fight. When Baldur shows up at Kratos' house and they just tear apart that mountain. I have never, mind you, I've seen Kratos go through the entire Greek pantheon. I have never seen Kratos get bodied like Baldur bodied him. Kratos threw an entire mountain pretty much at this man. He punched through it and then punched Kratos on the whole other continent.
Damn.
And then Kratos came back and punched the life out of him, threw a tree the size of a redwood at him. And Baldur's like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to like literally bash your face through 30 layers of dirt.
Damn.
Like, I've never seen Kratos get bodied. It was amazing to watch. It's
Damn.
amazing. Like, you would do like a quick time event, and then it's 3 minutes of cutscene just.
Oh, that was a gurgler.
That sounded a little wet.
It did sound a little wet.
You want to take an intermission to go check your pants?
Uh-oh.
He made duty. Okay, we are all fucking
We're
tired.
going.
I can hear it going. Along the lines of God of War, I didn't play too
Also,
many.
Thor, when he showed up,
I was about
also
to
bodied the crap out of Kratos. I've
So-
never seen any god beat Kratos the way the Norse gods beat
So
Kratos.
the crazy thing about the Thor fight, and I'm glad that you mentioned Thor, is
He's
from
gonna
the
be part
footage
of
I've
it, but Baldur was
if you
fine.
actually game over on Thor, like die on Thor, it'll show you a loading screen, and then you'll hear Thor, "Oh, not quite yet," and you
Yep.
get zapped back to life.
Yep. Oh,
like
we
he
ain't-
actually
oh, we're
comes
not
over
done
and
yet.
defibs you back to life so he
Yeah.
can beat the shit out of you.
That's
again.
awesome.
He will hurt you to the point where like I can't win this. I'm over.
And also,
this is over.
it's not Thor like, look at me, I'm Thor.
It's
historically
it's the big fat,
Bigger than you.
Yeah.
it's big fat bulky Thor, like the actual Norse mythology Thor, not like.
And
Yes, I'm Thor.
he's I don't know if that was like a
I wish
scripted
I have
thing or
another.
not. But yeah, if you like quote unquote die, you
Yeah,
get to
he
load
just
screen. We're like, oh,
defibs you.
we're gonna load this back up, and then it's like Thor's like, Oh no, we're not done yet.
No, we're not done
He
yet.
fills you back to life and then throws you across a lake.
Yeah. Frozen Lake.
Frozen Lake, dude, is like, oh, game over.
But it's fun. But it's cool because it's like,
I'm like, oh,
it's such a seamless transition because it's like you see the loading screen, so you think, oh well, I gotta go back and start that again.
Now I
Then
gotta
you
go
just
fight
hear
Thor
that,
again.
No, not yet.
Oh
You
no, we're
just
not done yet.
Like zaps you,
And he's got
throws
you by the throat already.
Yeah.
And your kid is just watching this. 'Cause there's nothing he can do.
Boy.
That picked up really well. I heard.
So, I don't know if you plan on playing it, but do you know who Kratos' son turns out to be?
Yep. Yeah, he told me.
Do you know who?
No.
Loki.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
He doesn't know it yet, though. He knows it by the end. He's like, they called me, because half giant. They put that in there.
Yeah.
And so he's reading things from the Land of the Giants, and he's had like dreams or visions of the giants, and he goes at the end because they finally brought Loki's mother to where she wanted to be, her ashes to be just thrown into the wind of the Land of the Giants.
Yeah.
And he finally tells Kratos, he's like, they call me something different because he named him Atreus.
Yeah.
He goes, they called me Loki, and I'm like, huh? Because there's no inkling of it. Oh, he's got a bow, he's got a dagger, whatever.
Yeah.
But then that happens, I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then Ragnarok is trying to pretty much stop Ragnarok from happening, but also trying to balance Kratos not being a douche. And there's a part where, so there's portals going through different lands of the realm, and there's a one that's it's just a land between realms where you can just chill. It's like your safe house. Loki ran off because he wants to go do his own thing. Everybody's like sitting there. He's like, I'm tired of sitting. We need to do something. Odin's doing this, that, and the other. He runs off. He ends up going to their home plane by himself. There's undead warriors running around. He ended up stopping it with him, and then he goes to open the portal again to go back home. And he turns. He's about to get in the portal, and walking out of that same portal, that's the exact same time as Kratos. And you can tell he's not mad as in a god. He's mad as a father. And I think that's worse. Because now he is. You could just tell just from how he's walking, he was worried because he's a father. He's mad.
Yeah. The only other thing
And he's just dead quiet. He's like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no.
Oh no. Damn.
Great games.
Yeah.
First three were fun, but then you got this new one. Is like, this is great.
All I can see is the memes of Kratos with the circle over his head. Well, because in the older games you could just bang women and like you would walk up to them and circle. Just
The other end part where circle happens is at the end of the third one where you're just beating the crap out of Zeus.
yeah.
And you just keep hitting the button. You just beat Zeus for like 45 minutes. Then when you finally stop, the game actually ends. Because it'll just take over by itself. It's just black screen is here.
You know,
Then he stops.
I'm gonna take this off a huge tangent because you're talking about like just hitting something over and over again. It popped up into my head. The Deadpool video game. There was a segment where you just tried to slap Wolverine awake, and you could continue to press the button and continue to slap Wolverine as long as you wanted to. He's like, "Come on, wake up, wake up, wake up!" And he's like saying different things as he continues to slap him.
That's awesome.
I also love that game has a scene where like Deadpool's crying for some reason. He's like crying and sobbing. It says press A to end it all. He's like,
Nice.
just puts a gun up against his chin and blows his head off.
Jeez, man. Yeah.
So I know I can't wait for the new movie.
Which,
Oh my gosh.
which Deadpool obviously doesn't die, but yeah.
And then they also
I am
dropped.
excited for
I don't
the
know
movie.
if you know this, but they dropped a trailer for Venom 3.
Oh,
He did?
Mm-hmm. Tom Hardy's still going to play Eddie, but
I assume we're ending the
Venom-
podcast to go watch that.
Venom possesses a horse.
Horse
It is amazing. On the beach, it's amazingly funny.
sounds awesome.
But yeah, we're getting Venom 3.
Well, let's see. I'm going to talk about some Red Dead
My notepad's on
1.
the floor.
Red Dead 1, okay, hit me.
I don't remember if it was part of the final fight or not. There was a part where John had to use a Gatling gun to shoot off.
Oh, I remember that.
No,
remember that
that
part?
wasn't part of the first. That was like near the middle of the game, if I remember.
That
That
was like
was.
Mexico. Yeah.
I couldn't remember. So here's the thing. Okay, fine. You have a Gatling gun. You can just go around shooting people. Now, normally you would have a little dot in the middle so you can
You don't.
tell where your gun is. Yeah, mine freaking glitched. Mine didn't have the freaking target, so I'm going around trying to shoot them, missing all of them. Where's the freaking target? Eventually, I died and had to restart, and then there's a little dot, and I can freaking target things now.
Man, you both fell. They both got wet.
That was talking. You're like your ass cheeks are like, help me, please.
Mine replied just like, yeah, that's a
Yep.
pretty good fight, bro.
And speaking of Red Dead 1, it's not technically a fight, but I guess it is with the final fight with Dutch. I mean, you don't technically kill him,
Yeah.
but it
Man,
gets...
I wish they gave that satisfaction, especially after you know what he did in Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the stuff that he did, he just said, screw it. And he just...
There ain't a plan anymore.
Yeah.
Our time is up, John.
Yeah.
Mind you, he didn't shoot himself.
He
He just
fell-
pitched himself off a stinking
Yeah.
cliff.
And then you see him falling and...
I will say though, at the end of Red Dead 1, like the big thing, like you get the satisfaction of taking down that Pinkerton agent as Jack. The very end, and that I really feels like a great way to end it off, because you get one final duel, you get revenge for, you avenge John, and
Yep.
And I will say this, Rockstar has confirmed a few months ago they have started development on Red Dead 3.
So, did they confirm that was another prequel, too?
No, they said they started development on it.
Okay.
wonder what it's gonna be.
I told you about this idea a while back, I think.
Probably, most likely.
I'm going to go on a tangent here, but
Here
Hey.
we go.
instead of
That's it.
doing
All right, we just need like a
a
whole
normal Red
podcast.
Dead Redemption game after Red Dead 2, make a game called Red Dead Noir, and you play as a detective in that Pinkerton detective agency. And here's the thing. You're the detective going through Red Dead 2 and 1, and you are just barely missing the Vanderlyn gang. Now,
That'd be pretty cool. Actually.
yeah, it's like a detective cowboy game. That sounds kind of cool, I think. And at the end of the game, you see one of the Pinkertons going to face off with Jack. Now you have two choices. The whole point of the game is you're this young detective that's just starting out.
Yeah.
Nobody takes you seriously. You're like, you're just a kid. You don't know anything. So you're basically looked down upon throughout the entire game. Nobody respects you. To the point where at the end, you see the Pinkerton going against Jack. You have a choice. Are you going to save your boss, or are you going to want revenge and watch him get a bullet in his head?
That'd be a pretty cool idea. Yeah.
And
I
I
got
think
one-
that'd
I
be
got
an
one to work
awesome
with that.
idea.
I don't
To
know
be
how
fair,
this would
too,
work.
the Pinkertons were kind of corrupt as hell at
They were.
times too.
Yeah.
So it would have been really funny to just watch.
I don't know
that.
how this would work, but you're there. Mind you, it's the same premise, same idea, but you're there in the background as they gun John down, and you realize, you know what? I'm done. But you're
That'd be
also
great.
part of the Pinkerton still, because I don't think it's that easy to just walk away from an agency like the Pinkertons.
Yeah, I think.
But
it's
there's
kind
a
of like
part
a
in the
syndicate.
game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an arc with the whole thing, like trying to rescue Jack from what's his face, Mr. Bronte in
Yeah.
Saint Denis. There's a part where you're pretty much almost taking the Pinkertons down from the inside out,
Yep.
helping Jack,
Yep.
and then you sit there and you just watch behind a tree. You don't get the choice because you know what it's going to be. You know what you want now.
Right.
You watch Jack put a bullet in your boss's head,
Okay.
and it ends
I like
with
that better.
yes, you'll see Jack walking away, but it doesn't focus on Jack. It focuses on you as the agent walking away from the scene as you watch your boss bleed out and die after Jack's walked away. And it ends with you taking your hat, your Pinkerton hat, let's say to have him, on his face, walking away, and it's just from your nose down, a hint of a smile as you walk away. End credits.
Hey,
That'd be sick.
Rockstar, if you're listening to this,
They're not
please
listening to
take
this.
this.
They're not listening to
Please
They're
take
not
this
listening to
idea.
this.
If they did listen to it, though, please take this idea.
That'd be crazy.
That would be a fucking sick game.
Would you believe that all came off the top of my head with the choice of killing, helping
I like
Jack
that
or
better,
not?
though. That's sick.
Just like you take it down from the inside out and then just watch the boss die. Like, screw them at this point. Like, you're there through it's gonna be a long game because you're there through the events of Red Dead 2.
yeah.
You're there through all of Red Dead 1. You're
You'd probably
just behind that.
condense it a little so
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to go
Yeah.
through too much.
But then you're there in the background as John gets gunned down. You realize this not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Then you know with John dead, there's nobody else who's gonna stop the pickets. So you
Right.
got to do it yourself.
So, another boss fight that I got. Now, this boss really isn't that difficult once you've beaten it multiple times. It's actually more the level before it. It's actually the challenge. But the final boss fight in Mario Land 2, 6 gold coins. Now, that was the first time Wario was shown. And you had to face Wario. And what was cool about that boss fight is Wario had the same power-ups as you did. If you had a fire flower, Wario got the fire flower. Now he can shoot fire at you. And in that game, he used the bunny ears to fly. He got the bunny ears, and he started flying back and forth, too. So I thought that was a really cool boss fight because you were both on equal terms.
Exactly.
And it wasn't just like Bowser shooting fire and you're this little Mario dude jumping over him. No, you both have the same powers. And again, it's not that hard of a fight because the level to get to him is actually the big challenge because there's all these traps and hazards that you have to avoid. I mean, once you've played it enough, you already know how to get through it. But it's just such a cool, I think it's a cool, memorable boss fight. First time Wario shows up and you're on equal playing fields with a boss. And honestly, that was kind of like the first time, the first boss I fought, that was kind of on the equal playing field as you.
Yeah.
And then another quick one I'll do really quick. On the first Rayman, now remember, I think I mentioned this in one of the other podcasts, where the first boss in Rayman scared the crap out of me as a child.
I think I remember.
Do you basically...
I listened to it. I wasn't here for that one.
Well, basically what I'll do the short version of it. Up until that point, it was all like nice, happy forest, enchanted music, right? And then as soon as you face that mosquito, this hard rock guitar comes in, scares the shit out of you. Because up until that point, I was like, I don't know, 2 or 3. I wasn't used to games doing that. All of a sudden, you're doing the serious shit. And I think that mosquito boss fight, it's not hard. You punch him like 5 times and he's dead. But
you're also 2 and 3 years old.
exactly. Like once I got older, it's like, what was I scared
Like,
of? But
giant bug. Don't like it.
but that boss fight always sticks in my mind because that, again, I've mentioned this before, is an example of how video games can influence your mood and shows you
Exactly,
and
yeah.
and it shows you from, and it showed me from a young age that this is a boss, this is serious. Now you got to fight.
Yeah.
If I ever want to go with the music, is Elden Ring. It's dead quiet. You got soft, quiet music. The second if it's an overworld boss or if you're in the dungeon, it's just the heavy drum, the heavy beat happens. It's like, oh, game on now. Like, oh, I'm good. Okay, cool. Hack this one little thing. Cool. Music happens. Like, all right, let's go. But that's how kind of Dark Souls games work.
Yeah.
I got 2 more on my list that I said I'm going to do. I scrapped the other ones.
Go ahead.
One, I don't know if you got this far in this game. A Vulture and Electro from Spider-Man for the PS4 version. So, through the premise of this, Dr. Octopus has started up the Sinister Six. It's Doc Ock, Mr. Negative, Electro, Vulture, Scorpion, and Rhino. But he sends Electro and Vulture at you at the same time.
Oh, shit.
So it's a giant air battle in the middle of the oil field by the dock against Vulture and Electro. You're dodging Electro's lightning bolts while also trying to smoke Vulture out of the air. And you're you do not hardly ever hit the ground. You are either swinging, hitting stuff in midair, or you're just ball jumping over like an oil rig.
That's cool.
You're fighting them both. And it's kind of great. The Scorpion fight was kind of fun because you're like in his toxin. It's almost like Scarecrow in a sense. So you're like in your own brain, and he's made himself giant, but the whole city's covered in his stuff. That's cool. That's fun. But fighting those two at the same time, that was wild.
Sounds wild.
That
Sounds
entire
cool,
game was phenomenal. I love it. But that fight, that was great. And I got one more. I don't know if either one of you know it, because I don't know if you do. I know you haven't yet. The final boss in Hogwarts Legacy.
I haven't played it, but I've been seeing my dad play it.
Ranrock the Dwarf. Mind you, this is
Ramrock.
This is like hundreds of years before Harry Potter. So dwarves are not exactly on good terms with the humans.
Yeah, I can see that.
At all. And there's this thing called ancient magic. It almost like slows down time, this, that, and the other. Ranrock wants it. So he can overtake everything. And you were one of the few, if not the only wizard in this age who can harness and use this ancient magic. So you can use it as a counter against Ranrock, who also takes control of trolls. So you can also fight mountain trolls. He ends up harnessing the dark magic for himself. And turns into a dragon.
Wow.
And you're kind of almost like going down a cliff side to fight him in the valley. But he's also throwing crap at you at the same time. So you're dodging all that. You're throwing your spells at him. You got counter spells, this, that. You're using other spells to throw stuff at him. You're dodging his stuff. And then you finally stop it. It's like, then it's one of those. You're done by that point. He's dead.
Oh.
But there's points like even when you're done with that, it's one of those games you can still go doing stuff you missed.
Dang.
Because there's hundreds, if not 1,000, collectibles in that game. Be it just pages for your field guide, creatures to meet, people to meet, companions, outfits, whatever. Wands, because you can customize everything for your character. It's kind of great. And multiple playthroughs, because you can go through multiple houses. And each of them have their own unique side quest. And Hufflepuff, you go to Azkaban. I love that game.
Nice. So the final one that I have, and somebody actually reminded me of this boss before we did the podcast. Did you play through Bowser's Fury?
No, I haven't played through Fury yet.
Oh, you need to. This
is before we even got here.
So it's as close to Super Mario 3D World free roam as you can.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay footage.
Okay, so you've seen gameplay footage of facing Bowser?
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's kind of stupid because Mario is just like this giant cat, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's still awesome that you're this giant Mario facing off against this demonic Bowser, beating the shit out of him, and his son wants you to do it because his son is like, Bowser Jr. basically says, "Hey, can you help me defeat my dad?" And Mario's like, "I don't know.
What the fuck?"
Yeah.
He's like, what?
He's like, please, Mario, can you help me? He's not listening to me. It's awesome. It's just a good feeling. You're just this giant Mario, and it's basically like a Godzilla fight.
I take it back. I don't have one more boss fight then. I got one more. Two
All
more,
right.
technically. So the 2014 Godzilla video game. Gameplay's repetitive, whatever. But there's certain parameters you got to meet, and if you didn't catch that, Maze just got up.
Yeah, underwear catching your butt crack.
But
I can't.
they actually brought in a part where the original Godzilla has a nuclear meltdown inside himself and turns into what they call burning Godzilla. Basically because his heart is pretty much a nuclear reactor. And at the same point, they pretty much brought in the devil of Kaiju, which is named Destroya. And he is arguably the final boss of Godzilla. And so you got to fight him, but you're also burning and losing time and almost losing your health at the same time. And he will maul you. But you meet some certain parameters throughout the entire quote-unquote story mode. And they threw in a little Easter egg for you.
Oh, boy.
Because right after you fight and destroy Destroya, Godzilla cools down. They retconned that, made him cool down. But somebody else shows up. The Godzilla from this current MonsterVerse.
Damn.
So he shows up in the game. He towers over you. He towers over everybody. Most of the bigger kaiju probably go up to his waist. He is a
Damn.
monster, and you have to fight him right after.
Oh, cool.
So if you meet certain parameters, they'll do that. But it's parameters you got like certain, maybe you can't figure it out. It's not like, hey, do this 3 times and you will shake hands with Jet Jaguar or whatever. But it's you meet him, it's like, oh, cool, this happened. That was fun. But yeah, that happened. And I'm like, no. I just fought Satan. Don't make me fight him again. I had to fight him. But yeah,
I'm standing up
that
to
was
finish this. I don't care.
yeah.
I stand up when I finish.
But
No,
that's
I tried getting a more comfortable chair and it didn't work very well.
I mean, it's fine until you sit in it for like 2-3 hours
You're
Yeah.
right.
without moving. Yeah, I think about that's all I got for bosses now. I promise. The boss rants over. Suitcase is crashing. I'm feeling it. I think he let out a silent squeaker.
So little.
We'll probably smell it and it'll just go.
Do you smell mildew?
I mean, we are in a basement.
True.
Hey, this is a pretty dry basement. I don't want to hear it.
It's still a basement.
It's gonna be wet when I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Folks, we apologize.
Welcome to a long night.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Welcome
this is what
to us
happens.
being-
Not that it's been a bad night.
It's not been bad, but welcome to us when we're slightly sleep deprived.
Yeah, so this is what happens when we're tired. We apologize. But again,
Good talk, though.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a good
really.
talk. That was
talk.
entertaining, I think. And again,
Fun
please
bosses.
say subscribed, and if you're not, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah,
Appar-
typical
apparently-
YouTube intro, outro. Hit that like button. too.
Yes, smash the like button in the face like a boss.
Or,
You'll get
or,
bitches.
or,
Yes.
or at least think about it. I mean, we ain't holding a gun to your head if you want to. Sure.
I can't breathe. I'm going lightheaded. I love it. The two of us are just intense. Smash that shit. I mean, think about it.
About it. I ain't gonna tell you what to do. I ain't your mama.
Oh, I'm gonna puke.
No. Supposedly, if you say subscribe, apparently the subscribe button on YouTube will glow.
That's pretty fucking cringe.
I've seen somebody record a Markiplier video, and it did glow at one or two times.
That's really weird.
It is weird.
Whatever.
But, again, like I always say, folks, thank you for joining us on this episode. We have more stuff coming down the pipeline.
We got plenty.
Pipe.
Yes.
I put my 4 more ideas down on my list.
Man, yeah.
We got.
I don't
we
know.
got
We're gonna have like enough ideas for like a couple of decades at this point. Is what it
We're
sounds
gonna
like.
be we're gonna be like in our 60s. Hey, it's time for the Maximum Message podcast.
I mean, in our
I
60s,
think
I don't know.
booed again.
60s, I don't know. 90, maybe, sure.
Nurse, change my diaper, please.
Nurse, I need another wipe. I browned again.
meatloaf.
I browned again.
I'm just like,
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
we
gone.
are exhausted.
We're gone.
Chris is just sitting there
I
like
don't
the
know what
Warhammer
I'm
40K
doing.
Emperor. If you know about that.
what?
The Emperor of Man from 40K is basically just like a living skeleton in a golden throne. That'll be Chris sitting on the couch just...
Yep.
What do you think about that, Chris? It pans over to him, just a skeleton sitting there.
And my jaw falls off.
That's then you just hear, "That's kind of fucking nice there, Chief." Just in the most monotone, robotic voice.
He ain't saving none of this.
Are you trying to shit?
That's what I'd be doing.
I can't wait to hear the end of this podcast.
That's what I'd be doing if I was old, just standing there.
The last 10 minutes where there's no gameplay footage is just us 3 rambling like idiots.
Yeah,
Big podcast off the air. We're just still rambling.
But yeah, folks, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Listen to the other podcasts that we got on here. And thank you for joining us, folks. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
I like cinnamon rolls.
Yo, me too.
I do as well. We'll see you later, folks.
Bye bye.